Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for our Patreon campaign. This is Monty Cook's Cypher system, a module called the Gods of the Fall, and this is our campaign called Arise. We are here for episode 17, All Rise for the Queen, who is a Sleen. That's just a joke for me. If you guys like what we do here and you want to support the things on this channel, our Patreon is the best way to do that. Link for that down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I can do the hell I want to these wonderful, amazing players and their characters here at the table. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to this channel for all kinds of shenanigans, like me spending hours rewriting a song from Sum 41 to be about fallen snake gods or something. That's about it. With that, previously on the Rise. Called to attendance by members of the adherents, our heroes were brought to an audience chamber and given the opportunity to pledge membership. Each of the fledgling gods was separated and put under scrutiny in an esoteric ritual that laid bare all their past sins. As each completed the ritual, they entered a small meeting chamber where they were sat waiting for an explanation. However, what they received was an introduction to the Queen. The four of you sit around a wooden table, six simple wooden chairs. Dreschen is there. The strange woman with the tall hat is also there, still unnamed, still unintroduced. And just having entered the chamber is the Queen of Samora. Most of you have seen or heard of Sleen. Some of you have seen the Queen. She attends the parade. But this is the first time you've been a stone's throw away from her, quite literally. You are close enough to reach out and touch the Queen. She stands there. She stands there in all her regal... God damn it, Matt. She stands there in all her regal finery as she sort of glides into the room, arms crossed in front of her, and looks around at the four of you. It seems as though the woman and Dreschen expected her to be here. What are the four of you doing?
I think when she walks in, and Terry is immediately grips the table with white knuckles. She's just not going to say anything or anything like that, but yeah. This is the enemy. Or at least it used to be.
Yeah.
So.
Corax goes wide-eyed and just stares, out of the side of his eye, at Antares. And just watches.
You would probably see her white knuckling the table.
Mina stands up almost straight away and does the deepest bow from his waist.
Okay. And
Seydlitz kicks his feet up onto the table and leans back with a comment of, "Oh, so the Queen has graced us with her presence."
Jesus Christ.
Savage. Yeah, cool. So just as a descriptor here, Sleen are snake people, but not like Naga. They have two legs, a long snake tail, a humanoid upper body, and a big old snake head. They're covered in scales. Their toes and fingers are clawed, and they come in all the variety of snakes you can imagine. The Queen is more of a, pun intended, queen cobra. She has a hood that sort of goes out, and you can see the hood is metallic-y looking gold and purple underneath it. And her scales are this midnight to shifting purple, covering her whole body except for the inside of the hood. And she is dressed in, Mina, you would identify right away as very, very high quality clothing. However, it is not like, it's not regalia, right? This isn't like the queen's like, I'm in attendance at my royal court. It's downplayed a little bit. This is probably what a noble would wear, less so the queen. So it's kind of like a pseudo disguise almost. And she just stands there, and her already narrow eyes sort of narrow slightly more as she like kind of like moves her head back and forth, almost like in like a weaving motion across the room, eyes flitting and fixating on each one of you. The woman in white, she steps forward and slides the chair, another chair out for her to sit in, and the queen glides into this chair and sort of sits down. And you can see that her tail coils around one of the legs of the chair as it slides in for her. And she looks to all of you and says, well, you have quite a reputation from what I have been told.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bet they downplayed it.
Oh, I'm sure my informants have told me so much about each and every one of you. And no one has to roll anything. There is a fixated stare at the corner of the table where the other royal family member sits. And Terius, you can feel her boring into you as she says, they've told me a great many things. What brings you to my city?
The sun.
I live here.
She looks to you and just sort of nods. What about the rest of you?
Mina's still standing in that awkward look where he was bowing and he's not sure if he should stop bowing now because no one said anything to him.
Yep.
And he just says, we were bringing the child out of the Nightlands.
What a stroke of destiny that 5 such divine creatures should appear in my city. Don't you think?
No. Technically, it's the way out from the Nightlands does pass through here.
The arrival is fortuitous. The fact that 5 of you arrived at once together as allies and companions is a stroke of fate.
Korak smiles.
What do you do? And she looks to you, Korax. You can tell that there is way more meaning to that question than the words she used, and her eyes narrow into slits as she looks at you.
Still with the big smile on his face, Korak says, I'm a traveling salesman. I buy and sell goods on my way through places such as this into places such as Corso.
Her head like swivels again, that sort of like weaving motion, and she looks towards the corner of the room. You can see one of her eyes like rotates that way, like well, both of her eyes, but you can only see the one moves that way, and she's looking at Dreshen. And Dreshen sort of, despite what he looks like now, cleaned up and sort of like way less beggary, there's a moment where he shrinks back to like his meeker self, and you see him like fidget with his hands, and he nods when she looks over at him. And she swivels back to you, and she says, My information tells me you are a son of Telbin.
He's not my father, but I did travel with him.
Hmm.
He taught me many things. You know,
I'm
like buying
sure
and
he
selling.
did. I hear that he has another companion.
Korax's smile gets bigger. I've heard so as well.
A daughter of Telbin. And her head swivels towards Mina.
He's not her father either. He's I don't know who he is. He's a guy that seems to travel with young people.
Hmm. I see. Interesting. And what about you? She turns to Antares. What brings you here of all people?
She's just been not glaring, but she's been looking back at her just as intently as she looked at her before, or at how the queen looked at her before. And I'm seeing them to the end of their mission.
And what
I'm-
mission is that?
She tears her eyes away and she glances at all three of them.
Korax is staring back. No longer smiling.
Well, it was originally to bring their quarry to Samora. And now it seems that they are the redeemers of the Nightlands.
Whoever gave us that silly title. Ugh.
Apparently the
here's-
man who's more honest than Mina.
I'm here to see it done. I'm not here as I once was.
Well, at least that I know for sure, or you wouldn't have made it this far. Your intentions are true, if not strange.
How do you know what my intentions are? I haven't even been asked any questions.
The needle of inquiry shows all.
She see her tense at that.
Nothing you have done, said, or thought is a secret any longer to anyone of us in this room. And she looks at the Dreshen and the woman. Only to yourselves. There is happenings between the Nightlands and the RuneScape. Some that you may be aware of, some that you assuredly are not. Your mother sent a massive group of reconciliators to my city. More than usual. She wants to pull Samora back under her control, and I will not stand for it.
I don't know anything about that.
I know. She's not the only threat we have. King Jaseth is alive. My reports tell me he was living in Chrysearch. He has amassed an army and means to march on Samora. There is also another one of your kind, the Shaden. He arrived some 5 years ago, and she looks over towards Seydlitz. Mounted the walls, attacked a group of Nefar, and held them single-handedly in defense of the city. Since that time, he has done nothing. He has claimed a small temple here in the district, but he has made no demands. He has made no claims, but we watch him. There is a small group of us that support you and the future you may bring. There are a great many more who do not. And your allies may be few and far between. Your wagon-bearing companion, least of them. And she looks over at Korax.
She looks at Korax.
Telbin is neither friend nor foe, and therefore he poses a danger to all.
He never posed danger to me.
You are the danger. And your sibling is also a danger. And she swivels towards Mina.
If Korax leans onto the table. If I am a danger, then why am I in the room with you?
You misunderstand. You are the danger that Telbin represents. He is a being of neutrality. He is... well, we're unsure. Our information on him is nearly non-existent.
You know everything I know, apparently. Of him
So
as
what-
well.
Unfortunately,
you're s-
it's not helpful.
He never was.
When you say that Korax represents the danger of this Talbin guy, do you mean that it's because his neutrality is no longer that? If he's... She'll motion towards Korax.
At that, Korax displays his nimbus. As Antares says, the danger that Korax poses, he displays his nimbus.
The queen does not react at all to seeing it. She continues talking and looks to Antares and says, "No. He remains neutral. He himself is not, to our knowledge, a threat. However, his companions are all of a kind, and he chooses them very carefully."
Korax
He
looks
sets-
at the table and says, he never pushed me to a way of good, and he never pushed me to a way of bad. He never directed me in either way. My choices were my own, which means if someone chose differently
She
And
cuts her
he
eyes at
helps
me.
them? and he helps them become this, they could be evil.
Yes. We refer to him as a pathfinder. However, that may not be the best term to use. He is
I used
a
quirky.
he's a guide. He is a guardian of the road. He finds people like yourself at the right time, in need, and guides them on their path. Whether you understand it or not, young man. He picked you up at the right time and let you off at the right time. The right time to continue on your journey. Without influence, because that's his way. For good and for ill. And again, her eyes quickly cut towards Mina.
She looks back to Mina. So what does it mean now that your sister is working with, or traveling with him?
It means that assuredly, your gift runs in the family. Again, looking at Mina.
Yeah, we were both taught tailoring. It's kind of a family thing.
As is godhood.
I've never seen her do anything godly, but then again, I haven't seen her in a while.
The fact that she is traveling with Telbin is all the proof we need.
What do you want with us?
Your assistance. If your mother calls to action all of her knights or sends another regiment, and Japheth readies his attack, the city will fall. I don't know for a fact if they're in league, but when I deposed him, they were. And if he takes this city, it will fall back into her clutches. I also have a certain stance on neutrality. It's troubling. As with Telbin, so too is there a neutrality with Vishaden. I don't know what he wants, if anything, or when he wants it, but he has taken residence in my city. And all of my attempts to communicate have been unsuccessful thus far.
Korax sits back in his seat. The thing with gods is some are good, some are seemingly bad. By directing them all to be good, you have an imbalance. This is probably why Talbin stays neutral and doesn't force anyone down a different path. You have the Shadow Lord, you have Nemarath. Neither one of them are gods that seem to be good. God of war. No one wants war. But there needs to be a god to protect things. New gods are going to come up, and some of them you're going to like, some of them you're not going to like. You can't have everyone on your side. As for your resident godling, it may have been him that tried to communicate with me in the temple. It may have been someone else. If it was him, he's aware that we're here. Point me to his temple and I will sell him on your ideas.
My concern for whether you are good or bad is neither here nor there. My concern for your choice in actions is because while I understand that the old gods had their hands in business here in the Afterworld, they mostly stayed in Elanehtar. You all are here in my city.
I can't get to Elanehtar. It's gone.
Right. So the morality of gods is not my biggest concern. It's what you do with that morality in my city. I can defend against Nafar, I can defend against the dragon. And there's a level of disdainful sarcasm in that word. What I can't defend in is in a small army of gods who wish to rule the world. You say if there are all good gods, there is an imbalance. If there are all evil gods, there is an imbalance. But if it is gods versus mortals, there is an even greater imbalance, one that we cannot hope to win against.
Korax looks at Mina. Sometimes gods will step in, and sometimes they will defend those who need to be defended. And he just stares at Mina.
We offered to leave, but the Inquisitor lady convinced us to stay to defend the town. So it's not a question of whether we bring danger to Zamora. You've already asked for our help, and we've already said yes.
There is a war coming to the Afterworld. The fact that there are 6 new divinities in this city alone leads me to believe that the 99 may have risen, and that all the old gods are reforming. Or perhaps there are even more than we once knew before. There is a scramble for power, and you are the resource. The divine before you, their morality was not an issue, because their morality was resolute. They were what they were. You can be swayed. You can be reasoned with. You can be convinced. You can be lied to. And her eyes cut towards Antares again. You have the love of family, and she looks towards Seydlitz. Friends, a home to protect, and she looks towards Korax. You are different from the old gods. You are far more dangerous.
Or far more useful.
Which increases the danger. An infantile snake is far more dangerous than an adult, because I know just how much poison to release. You have no idea how much power you hold, or to what potential that could rise to. You are a danger to yourself and those around you, and there are those, like myself, who wish to use you to their ends. I assure you, though you may believe what you like, I intend to be on the side of good. You have seen the other side. And she looks at Antares again.
She just shifts in her seat a little bit, uncomfortable.
We could just leave. And leave you to face 2 armies that are marching towards your city. However, and he looks to Mina, We have brought a child here for protection, which will not be protected if the city is besieged by 2 armies. And he looks to Seydlitz. And other people in our party have family here that again will be caught in a war, but they shouldn't have to be caught in. I don't fight. I never have. But if it's to protect the innocent, I will do what I can. Just point me to a library. Maybe there's something there that can help.
You will have access to my royal archives. That is the largest sum of wealth, of knowledge this side of the RuneScape.
He half bows.
What do the rest of you require?
The proper sword.
A blade.
Just been using one I've literally found off the ground.
That will be arranged.
And I want a guarantee of protection for the child and the mother. For as long as I draw breath.
For as long as my city stands, and as long as Stephanie, and she looks to Dreshen, and he nods again, wills it, she will be employed as a royal handmaiden. She will live in the castle, and her daughter will be raised there. Should the city fall, there's nothing I can do. And you too? And she glances between Mina and Seydlitz.
I've already offered my spear. I don't need anything else, except maybe the chance to talk to my sister. I mean, if Antares can stop being evil, maybe she can as well.
To be fair, we don't know she's evil yet.
Yeah.
Being angry doesn't make you evil. Killing lots of people, all. She pauses.
I guess you'd
That's
know.
what makes you evil. She does. She just levels a gaze at you.
Either way, if this Telbin guy is this force for neutrality, given the evil in the Nightland, surely most of the charges he works with should be forces for good also.
It could be 50-50.
And you?
An expedition. If I have to choose anything at all, supplies and money for an expedition. I'll take it you already know where I plan on going.
You will have a fully outfitted crew. And if your companions wish to attend, they will be outfitted as well. The best I can buy.
I seek those answers. I have for years.
Perhaps you can succeed where many have failed. Perhaps this divine confluence is what we need to uncover the truth.
What are you talking about, Seydlitz? What truth?
All in due time.
The four of you must speak with Vishaden. Find his intentions. If he is good, persuade him to join us or to leave. And if he is not, I would ask that you cause as little damage to my city as you possibly can.
It doesn't need to be good.
I will let that fall into your purview.
You want us to kill him?
If he is a threat to Samora, I would like him removed from my city. How you go about that is your own process. We do not need a third threat to the city. I imagine the four of you have quite a bit to discuss. I will take my leave. I will return to the castle. When you are ready, seek me out. I'll give you access. I'll give you a weapon that you need. You may look at all the information I have in the depths. And if you figure out what you need, young man, you have but to ask. And she says that to Mina. And in the silence, she stands, uncoils her tail. She looks over at Dreshen, nods. And she looks over at the woman and says, Sula Baez, I take my leave. They are in your charge. And the door at the back of the room opens, and you see her disappear into darkness, and the door closes, leaving you four alone with this woman, Sula Baez, and Dreshen. But no one breaks the silence.
Korax looks back at Dreshen. You are significantly less useless than I thought you were. And just turns back to the group.
It was intentional.
No hard feelings.
Same.
You kept the mother and child safe. Someone had to do it.
Somehow all of you kept your word, and I appreciate that.
And
Welcome.
Therese actually probably doesn't look at him. She averts her eyes.
Welcome to the adherents. I know that you all
She
had
winces
some
a little bit.
reservations about this, and perhaps some wants ideas. But you're here nonetheless, and I thank you for keeping to your word.
Our word is all we have. If we don't have that, what do we have?
This spark of divinity.
Sparks come and go.
Well, now what?
I got a lot of books to read. I don't even have to borrow them.
Steal.
Never steal.
Borrow with no intention of returning.
Do we know where this Veshadon came from before he arrived?
Are you asking me or are you asking out loud?
Well, first I'm going to ask if there's any general knowledge about this guy.
No, there's none.
Okay.
He appeared, excuse me, 5 years ago. There was a assault on the capital. An army of Nafar, so goblins, trolls, the creatures that go bump in the night. And the city was defending itself well enough, but there were heavy losses. Veshadon basically appeared out of nowhere, not like boop popped up, but like no one saw him coming, and he smote a bunch of Nafar and turned the tide, and then basically just said, "I live here now," and took up residence in an abandoned temple because no one prayed to the gods, so no one was going to stop him.
Another question, would Nolumriel know about him?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The thought of going to meet this Veshadon character.
Sounds fun.
I mean, he defended the city. Surely an evil person wouldn't do that.
You can't be so cautious about everybody, Antares. If he wanted to do something, he probably would have done it by now.
He may not care about the city, which is why I said he doesn't necessarily need to be good. As long as he cares about the city and defending what he has claimed, he may do it again.
Nolumriel has wanted him for years.
We can't fall into the same trap of thinking of ourselves and others like us as chess pieces. Nolumriel's making that mistake. Even Attain seems to be making that mistake. We just need to talk to him like a person. We're not resources. I don't care what anyone says. Just treat him like a person, like we would like to be treated.
Korax side-eyes Antares and says, "Mother and the Snake Queen do have a point. It's very easy to use someone who is capable of a lot to take out armies. 5 well-trained gods, we are not them, could take out an army on their own. And if they are fighting for Nolumriel, that's the city fallen.
We've met other divine people on this journey who claim neutrality, but how can you claim neutrality when there's people suffering?
It's easy to claim neutrality because if you don't, then you don't have to get involved.
But isn't inaction choosing the side of evil?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Corax just shakes his head.
We met in the
Sometimes
chapter
it's
house.
better to do nothing than actually attempt something, because if you do nothing, it means you cannot possibly make the situation worse.
There's one thing I've learned in the past 6 months is that morality is every shade of gray. Even those who have claimed to have been good have made just the. She looks down. The type of decisions I wouldn't expect them to make. Behave in ways I wouldn't expect them to behave in.
The mistake we're making is assuming that we have a choice in staying neutral. We
Oh,
don't.
I don't plan on staying neutral.
We don't. We're not. We have this divine spark that doesn't make us better than anyone. We can't sit on the sidelines and just say, well, I'm divine, I don't need to get involved.
I mean, I'm better than people.
He does think that.
Because it's
He's-
true.
He's better than some of the people I met. And he stepped up when Arua and Stephanie needed help. The fact that we've already, we already broke out of our lives to help a child and a mother means we're already special. You have other divines just sitting back and watching. It's not a luxury that any divine should have, and it's probably why the gods themselves fell, because they ignored what was happening down here to their own detriment.
If it were just some random city, I'd be against you on that argument, Rena. I would probably not care. But unfortunately, it is not some random city. It is Samora, and I live here, so I have to care.
She glances at Mina and just says, "Shades of gray."
Choosing an action is not the same as choosing evil. Evil would be walking into a city that has not provoked you.
I
and
didn't say
murdering them.
gray was evil.
No, but Mina assumed. There are going to be shades of good and shades of bad. Walking into a city and killing all the soldiers is very different to walking into a city and killing all the innocents. One is war, one is
walking into a city and doing nothing as people are slaughtered around you doesn't sound neutral to me.
It doesn't
She
sound
shifts
good,
uncomfortably in her chair.
but it also doesn't sound evil. It's a shade of gray, and he looks at Antares.
If you say so.
It's not evil, but it's also not good. Good is a point of view. What is good and what is bad depends on where you stand. He looks to Antares. When you stood at Nilumriel's side and she said that person is bad, go and kill them, and you went and killed them, you believed you were doing the right thing. As far as you were concerned, you did the work of good. But the people that you went out and killed definitely didn't think that. It's all a matter of perspective. Shades of gray. But You're right, Mina. We need to speak to Shaden and find out what he wants to do. If he chooses to do nothing, in my opinion, that's fine. But if he chooses to fight against the city, that's a problem. Because in my opinion, from where I stand, that is attacking innocence. We have brought a child here to be safe, and it is not safe if he is fighting against it.
Then
From what
let's.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, then let's speak to him. But as a person, not as divine to divine or pawn to pawn. Just speak to him as a person.
I mean,
At the
if he
very
recognizes... Go for it.
Go ahead. I say
No,
at the very least, he will fight to defend his territory.
And if he recognizes that I'm special, that's fine.
Once more into the breach. And she'll stand up.
Get comfy in the breach.
You stand, and Dreshen and Sulabias are still standing there, stoically quiet, waiting for you to figure out what you're doing. And as you stand, the woman steps forward and says, "If there's anything we can provide you, let us know. Not every
Sword.
member of our order believes in your cause, but none of us will stand in your way."
And she kind of narrows her eyes and looks at Korax and then looks back at the woman. So you mean that the adherents don't all believe in our cause being who we are?
More or less.
Isn't that what you people are all about?
No. Most of us want the return of the gods, not a batch of new, fledgling newborns mucking about with cosmic power. You all, as powerful as you are about as gifted as a newborn with magic.
Do you seriously believe the old gods will return? Such folly.
We never believed they would fall either, and yet they did. Who's to say what could happen? Who's to say what old gods have died or have gone into hiding?
Many
She'll-
probably have gone into hiding, but many more have most likely died. It's
She'll look
evident.
She'll look at Mina again. Shades of gray, even in your dead gods. They really did go into hiding and they aren't all dead? Cowards.
They refused to answer me as well. And he looks to Dreshen. Faith gets shaken when you don't get an answer.
If they actually are hiding somewhere and they're not all dead, I wouldn't spit one prayer to them.
Correct.
They let-
Cuts his eyes at her.
They let this world collapse into what it has become, this twisted, gross thing. And now you hope they're just hiding somewhere, and then when they come back, it's all gonna go away and be all hunky-dory. No.
Gods can't always do everything that people want them to. If they answered every prayer, what would happen? Chaos.
She kind of leans her hands on the table, and they're not trying hard enough.
Not trying hard enough to do what? You can't answer the prayer of someone who says, I want the whole of Samora to burn, and then answer the prayer of someone who says, I don't want Samora to burn. Whose prayer gets answered?
She just shakes her head.
Shades of grey. Who's to decide whether burning or not burning is right? The gods? That's us.
If you've seen what I've seen and done what I've done, you'd think the same way I have.
No, I'm good.
It was rhetorical.
It was facts.
The gods of old don't always think the way we think. While you think that lying in wait and hiding may be cowardice, a great many of us feel as though this is a trial. You see, the world before was blessed with magic and gods that did answer us, and gods that physically represented themselves in the world in ways that we'll never understand again, more than likely. And we took advantage of that. We grew fat and sat on our laurels because we knew the gods would provide for us. And now, in the Afterworld, we must provide for ourselves. You call it cowardice, but the gods are testing us to see if we are worthy of their return. If we cannot manage the Afterworld on ourselves, why would they come back and help manage it for us? There is black, there is white, and there are shades of gray, but not everything is entropy. Not everything falls into your neat little diagram. To know the gods and to speak on what they may or may not have done or be doing still is a hubris seemingly unique to mortals like us. But hopefully, you work that out of your system.
Her hand will flexes, even though it's not on her blade. Her hand flexes.
As I said, no one in the Order will stand in your way, but not all of us believe in your cause. If there's anything you need, you may seek out myself or Dreshen, and we will see that it is provided to the best of our ability. You are all welcome to stay here within the temple. If you feel it necessary, you are more than welcome to bring your family here. And she looks over to Seydlitz.
That will never happen.
Then watch over them.
Korax heads to the door. As he gets into the doorway, he turns back and looks at her and says, "A word to the wise. New gods are rising, and you can choose your old ways, but having disdain for them may not be the wisest choice for the future. If the old gods do not rise, you have pissed off the new ones. Good luck." And he walks out.
everyone left in the room can see her smiling. It is a very, like, prideful, sly smile. You can think whatever you want of that. But she looks over at Mina, who has been the thoughtful and good on the side of less neutrality, and she looks over to him and says, "Speak with your companions. It is not my place, but secrets and silence will tear apart any group. And if you wish to rise and be good, you should let it all be laid out."
Mina just kind of nods and collects his shield and spear and just follows Corex out.
And Terry's gives her a smirk and then turns and walks out.
She looks at Seydlitz. Your niece, was it? We did not inform the Queen.
Such secrets are best kept until the right moment.
There are others that can sense what you are. They may not keep it a secret. I suggest you take care of your family. My offer stands. We will hide them to the best of our ability. But if you do not want that, then I suggest you gently persuade them to move out of Samora, at least while this unpleasantness persists.
Such things are hard, unfortunately, because of the stubbornness of my sibling.
And that is your
But-
charge to bear.
I bet my brother-in-law could probably get it done.
Let us know if you need resources or locations. We will aid how we can.
I'm going home. Knowing my brother-in-law, he may have already built a house somewhere as a vacation site to get away, but who knows?
Let us know when you have made contact with Veshaden. I would like to hear what he has to say.
Seydlitz just kind of gives a side eye and walks out.
The four of you walk out of that room, and despite the fact that that door led to somewhere else, you all walk back out into the church proper, the temple proper. The pews and kneeling cushions are there on the floor. The representation of Xenia is around, and you all are alone in the temple side. To your right is the other door that led back to the barracks where most of you slept. What are the four of you doing?
Korax walked straight across that hall to the exit to walk outside.
Okay. Mina, you are the first one out after Korax. You see him, right? Yes. You see him walking towards the door.
Mina calls out, are we going now?
Why wait?
Okay. And Mina will follow Corex.
That was the most supplicated response I've ever heard from Mina. Okay. All right. I thought we wait, but okay. All right. You want to be in charge? It's fine. You're in charge.
Corex knows more about these things than Mina does, so
Grumpy Korax is grumpy. Yeah, so Antares, you are the next one. You see that Korax is almost at the door. Mina is following him, and you can hear a Seydlitz coming up behind you.
Yeah, I guess
Seem-
before since we're soon to be leaving, before she leaves the room, after she smirks at the lady with the weird name, she looks at Dreshen and she glances at him and then like kind of looks down and then slowly looks back up at him. I could use a new sword and some armor.
To who you say this to?
Dreshen.
He's in the room.
I know. Before I leave the room.
Oh, before you leave the room. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks to you. It's, the queen said, we'll get you something.
Thank you.
I'll bring it to your room.
Okay. And she will leave. Oh, she'll stop. She'll go to leave. Thank you. And then leave.
Okay. Then we fast forward to you walking out into the main chamber of the temple. Seeing Korax approach the door, Mina quickly behind him, and you can hear a Seydlitz coming up behind you. What are the four of you doing?
As Korax reaches the door, they'll all see him like put his hand on his door, start to push it, and stops. He looks back to Mina and says, "Wait for me," and he walks back to the altar that he prayed at before, and he drops to his knee and just prays out, "We're coming to visit," very quietly to himself. Gets up and then rejoins them to leave the building.
Okay. None of you asked where he is.
No,
Okay.
I did think that.
Okay, just so we are all on the same page here. So Korax, you do this, you kneel, you genuflect, you make your prayer, you get up, you reapproach the door, and you head out into the blazing sunlight of Samora. You are in the temple district. There are crumbling temples all around you. Where are you going?
And Terry's is seeing the sun for the first time.
Yeah, you saw the sunset. It's bright.
Yeah, so she walks it back into that room. Like, is there like stained glass windows and shit?
There is, yeah. It's stained glass, and you can see that dusty kind of like particles in the air. But they're like thick stained glass, so it's not super duper bright in here. The way I'm going to explain it for Antares specifically is, you know when it's like a fresh white snow, and you walk outside and you're like, "Fuck, that sucked." That's what it's like. When you have that super snow blindness, that super bright white reflecting off the ground back up, and everything just seems like it's all white LEDs. That's what it is.
That's why you wear sunglasses in the winter.
Or like coming out of a movie theater at noon, and you're like, "Ah, fuck."
Yeah.
It is blinding. You see spots. Very hard to see.
She would probably hesitate before going out the door.
Yeah, you see like Korax pushes open one side of the door,
Like,
and you can just see like that corona of light. And it just looks like he walked into a white void.
yeah. It's like, oh. And she kind of like stumbles and like kind of puts her eyes down with her hand up. By the dragon. Oh my god. And she puts her hood back up. Like, I don't know. I guess she'll have to follow him because
Yeah.
he's just leaving. So
Unless anyone else is planning to do something, Korax will. No, Korax is going to turn into the streets and look at the temples as he's walking down the road of temples. Are there any people in the street?
Not in this area. Not in the temple district. It's sort of like, it's not like I guess it is abandoned, right? Like it's the temples to the old gods, and no one's really here. So like there's like people that live on the streets. There's like probably some like ruffians hiding around in places, but like it's not like a traveled place.
Right. If there's no people, then Korax is going to keep walking down the road and looking for a temple that looks like it's not run down. The majority, I'm imagining, are either broken, smashed windows.
Yeah, there's a
broken
good
doors.
portion that is that. There's another portion where like they have been half demolished and rebuilt into warehouses. This was before your time, but King Japheth converted a whole section of the temple district into warehousing and like industrial shipping stuff. So there is a more populated side of this. But where you are is not. Probably specifically where you are is not, for obvious reasons. So you're going to continue walking this way, looking for what are you looking for?
He's looking for a temple that doesn't have smashed windows, that is clearly still, that's not a warehouse, that it is a temple. No smashed windows, no broken doors. That kind of looks like a building, in effect, that's not destroyed.
Okay. Roll me intelligence. Difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. Knowledge of godly beings doesn't help here, Mike, does it?
Sure.
Because I am looking for a god. Difficulty 3. Submit. Let's use some effort. Why not? Success.
Success. Okay, cool. Yeah. You begin to cast your eyes around looking for some inclination of a living space, a cared for space, right? You see a temple. And perhaps there is a smack of irony to it as you look at this temple and realize, oh, it must be this one. This is the most livable looking thing in the area. And then you see the symbol in stained glass in a circular window pane above the door. And it takes you a second. And then you realize what it is. And that's the little tug of irony at the back of your head. This is a church of Nemereth, a minor war god before the fall. And the god who appeared during a war, specifically the Troll Wars 3 years ago, and defended the city, has taken up residence here in the defunct temple of Nemereth.
Anyone walking close to Korax when he sees that would just hear a very low chuckle. He wouldn't stop his walk, but would make his way towards the door unless anyone stopped him.
Okay. Seydlitz, just so I know, you're with everybody? You didn't actually go home? Okay.
No, I didn't go home. That's
Gotcha.
after.
Gotcha. So yeah, you guys see Korax has he's actually out front as opposed to in the back or safely in the middle, sort of leading the charge. He's a few paces in front of the rest of you guys as he's glancing around, and he sees this building and moves towards it with a purpose. What are the other three of you doing?
I think Antares is in the back because she is trying
Based
to hide her
on
eyes.
how
So she's
he's
actually
acting, I guess he found it. Did you find it, Korax?
I believe so. It's a good joke.
Care explaining?
You don't believe in the gods. It means nothing to you.
Never said that.
He turns and starts walking backwards towards the building. He showed up during a war, and he's in the temple of a war god. And then turns back around and carries on walking.
Ironic.
Or he's claiming to be the new god of war. Shades of grey, Antares. Shades of
No
grey.
wonder she wanted him so badly. She mutters. And she kind of stumbles behind everybody.
Corax, you are the first person to get there. You-
With a closed fist, he bangs on the door if it's closed.
Yeah, it is absolutely closed. Your pounding on the door echoes through the temple. And you hear an answer from inside. Although perhaps not what you were expecting to hear. You hear a boyish... Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Hey. Hold on. Quiet. I got it. I got it. And then the door opens. And you see a man probably in his early to mid 20s. He is wearing a white jacket. It looks like it could be a robe, but it's open in the front. Like it's like a duster jacket. It's white, fringed in like purple and gold. There's like a belt that's like sort of just hanging loosely around it. Underneath that, he is wearing like light armor, like something you would think Antares would wear. Like it seems to be leather, easily maneuverable. And you can see that by his side is a scabbard belt, but on the side of the scabbard is a book latched and closed, where a sword would be. He does not seem to have a sword on his person. And he looks to you. He has like dirty brown hair, and there's some melanin in his skin. He's got like a dark ruddy brown skin. And he looks to you with a cheeky grin on his face, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing banging on my door? What's that about?"
Looking for the master of this house. Are you a priest?
This house is a priest. No, I'm not a priest. It's my house. I said you're banging on the door of my house.
Priests claim houses as their own, or temples as their own.
I don't know any priests.
For Shaden, I assume.
That's me. How did you know where I was?
Corax gives a half bow.
That's nice.
Not that hard to find people.
Oh, did I miss a letter?
No?
No, we just kind of came looking, found you, and here we are.
Okay. Why though?
Reasons better discussed inside in private.
Okay. What's with the mean girl? Why is she looking at me like that?
She looks at everybody like that. Ignore her.
No, she's looking at him very pointedly.
Okay. All right. Well,
She's the muscle.
Maybe a little bit more than usual, but yeah,
What do
she looks at most people like that.
what do you need muscle for? Are we fighting?
Hmm.
No.
Did I?
Corax starts to pat himself. I don't fight. I talk.
Did I? Have we met?
No, we haven't.
don't
Did
reckon
I,
we've
like-
spoken.
Did I wrong you in some capacity?
She
Have we come inside?
smirks very darkly at him.
Did you
Not
lose
yet.
to me in cards?
I don't think I'd lose to you at cards.
That's what they all say. That's how I bought this place.
Bought. Okay.
She smirks very darkly and like almost amusingly at him. I have scars because of you.
So we have met.
No, we haven't met. That's why I have the scars.
I don't think I understand what she's saying.
Her past is rather complicated.
Can we just
Okay.
come in?
We just
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'll just let 4 strangers into my house. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. And he sort of backs away from the door. Still not like fully open. It's only like halfway open, and he just like backs away. And Korax, you can see that like for a mostly rundown temple, it's kind of lavish in here. It's like trailer on the outside, rich person on the inside. It seems like he's furnished the place. All of the religious iconography and like pews and like statues and stuff. It's all been removed. There are replaced with like other like art pieces, furniture, and he's made a studio temple out of this place. And he kind of backs up and says, "Welcome to the Temple of Vishaden." That's me. If that wasn't clear, it's my house. Sit, I guess. Take a, and then we can talk about why you're here in my house.
She comes in last, and then she like, boom, like she like closes the door very solidly, and then we'll follow everyone in.
I imagine, Mike, the entrance is you walk through a door and there's like sort of pillars just inside.
Yeah.
With carvings from the previous god. And as Korax walks in, he brushes his hand over the carvings. Says, "This is the temple of Nemerith."
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Vishaden.
Well, no, well, I mean, so it was, and then I bought it, and
It's
then
the
it's
house
mine.
of Vishaden. Not
Well,
his temple.
it's a temple, and it's
No.
mine.
It's only a
so-
temple if people worship within it.
Well, no, I
If you're gonna
think.
be a god, you
I
should
think
know
it's-
how things work.
Well, I'm a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's a temple
Was a temple.
that I use as I don't know if it becomes not a temple.
In order to be a temple, people need to pray in it. Does anyone come in here and pray to you?
No.
Well, then it's a house.
But I mean, I guess if you find a ruined temple, it's still a ruined temple, not just a ruined building.
Till
Right?
you move in, and then it becomes a house. A
Okay.
former temple that is now your home.
Tell you what, I'm still going to call it the Temple of Vishaden because I want to. And that sounds way better than the House of Vishaden.
You can do whatever you please.
See? That's what I'm about. Anyway, why are you in my house, the four of you? Why does she keep looking at me like that?
That last glass was to Mina. It was like, please make Korak shut up.
Can you just like look down?
Mina just says, sorry about all them. They tend to talk around things. We're just here to talk, and Mina will turn on his nimbers.
Oh. Oh. All right. Is it like
You
all
always, you
all of
always
you?
drop the bomb, and Seydlitz turns his on.
Oh. Well, this is way less fun. You two? Too? Also?
What do you mean?
Just show him already. It's not
The
like
whole-
anything's bad gonna happen.
The whole thing with the...
She just shakes her head.
Care to explain?
Yeah, your nimbuses, I can see them. You turned them on.
Hers is not on.
Only the gods have those.
He points to Mina and Seydlitz.
Only the
Ignore
gods have
those
those.
two liars trying to hide their bullshit. We're just here for reasons.
She looks at Korak very oddly.
What, okay, so, okay. What do you want, though? I get it why you're here, but what do you want?
simple stuff. War's coming, and the queen has us in her service for the day and asked us to come talk to you for reasons.
Yeah, apparently there's lots of shades of grey, and we're trying to work out what shade of grey
She
you
wants to understand your intent since you moved in here, and that's about it.
I have answered her every time. I just moved in.
She really doesn't seem to ever get the message.
But you're a divine too.
What does that have to do with anything?
Apparently, it has to do with everything. Because apparently, they can't see us as people.
Queen Etienne wants a guarantee of your assistance in the upcoming war that is upon Samora.
Ugh, that's so boring.
You've done it before. I'm
Yeah.
sure she's willing to give you more riches or whatever you
To play you at a game
like.
of cards.
You'll play me in a game of cards?
No, she will probably. I
Oh,
don't
I don't want to play her. Celine cheat.
Probably.
know. No, they do. They very much do.
That's kind of racist.
When you play as much as I do, most of them cheat.
Is he sitting?
No, he's just standing there.
Okay.
Look, no one actually cares whether you get involved in the war or you don't have to fight with the Queen's army. What's more important is what are you going to do when the war shows up?
I was gonna just do nothing. It's not my
And
problem.
if the city falls and burns and you lose your house,
Well, I mean, I'm not going to.
then would you not try to protect the city that supports it? If the whole if the whole city burns down and all that's left is your house, what are you gonna do? There's no shops, no people, no places to play cards at, no food. You get that picture.
That's irritating.
That's how the world works, son.
Kind of
This-
inconvenient, isn't it?
Okay, what if you guys like moved the war?
Sadly, the
It's
war's
not
coming.
about us. It's not about us. It's about the city.
Why don't you help move the war?
It's not my war.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's actually 2 wars. They haven't told you that yet.
Neither one of them are mine.
No, but they're
No.
both coming to your house. Sorry, temple.
Thank
That's
you.
the thing with war. It doesn't belong to just one person. It becomes everyone's problem.
Well, I don't like that.
None of us like it.
Oh, and because you apparently have a Nimbus, the dragon is one of the people that are coming to war here, so it is.
And
your
she
problem.
wants you specifically.
Yep.
She sucks. I haven't met her, but I heard she sucks.
She does. Her children are just as bad.
I've heard that too. She's got like a whole brood of them.
They're all terrible.
That's what I've heard.
Extremely.
Such
That's what I heard.
bad attitudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like super nefarious, evil, like,
Mini dragons.
yeah. Well, I mean, a dragon is just like it's like a thing.
It's a
I mean,
big
unless
sling.
they, what?
Why is she called the dragon anyway?
Um,
Is she actually a dragon?
She's grumpy.
no, it's a title. It's like I had to say when I got here that, hey, I'm a sorcerer, not a dragon. And people were like, okay. And so, there are other dragons out here. She's just the loudest one.
Mm.
I think it's like the
I mean-
hoarding thing. I think it's a hoarding thing.
Maybe.
She does take books.
Doesn't she also hoard gods?
Mostly like
Mhm.
artifacts and skin, I heard, which is weird and gross.
Korax looks at Antares. So gross.
She doesn't look at him.
But regardless, friend, this war is coming, and part of that war is coming for you. So again, we ask the question, what are you going to do? That is all the Queen is asking, is to know what you are going to do. We know what we're going to do. We're going to save the innocents.
Ugh, it's so
Apparently.
annoying.
gets in the way.
Unfortunately, life is full of irritating annoyances that you seem to get yourself caught up into without wishing to.
Tell me about it.
Oh, I am.
I'm just trying to hang out here and enjoy my temple.
Talking about your temple, you got anything interesting?
What does that mean? It's a
Books.
vague
I
question.
like books.
I think
I like
he's looking
books.
for interesting books or artifacts that you don't want.
Why? What? All,
He likes to hoard them.
what is it? Are you a dragon?
No, I like books and
don't-
information.
I don't have anything
See,
that I
that's how
don't.
Could be a
Piece of
dragon, to be
cards.
honest, with all his books.
I don't have anything I don't want. If I didn't want it, I wouldn't have it. That doesn't make any sense. Who just keeps
Mhm.
things around they don't want?
Dragons.
I know one particular individual that does.
No, I wanted.
They're
That's
not
why
a
I bought
dragon.
all this stuff.
Would you have
That's
any
cool.
books? And he glances down at his scabbard with a book in it.
No,
No books?
I have books, just none that I
Shaden,
don't want.
what would you want?
For fighting in
For
a
your
war.
assistance in defending the city.
Oh God.
He will literally give you literally anything.
I wouldn't.
What if we
This
ask really
comes-
nicely?
This comes from the queen.
I like him. He's honest. I'd say no. To be fair, but I mean, I give you a lot of credit for trying. That's a good approach. Like that's pretty. I like that.
I thought I was asking nicely.
And Mina will walk over to, he doesn't know much about temples, but where there might have been an altar, and kind of kneel down and just say, "Dear Fashaden, will you please help us defend the city?" He doesn't know how to pray, but that's his best version of praying.
He looks over at you, and smiles.
Well, it's a temple now. Someone prayed in it.
See that?
Facts. Now it's a temple. You see, that's how it works.
Okay. Okay.
Now you just need to let more people in.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Let's start with that.
With
Do you
what?
want a following?
No, let's start with the rest of you doing that.
I'm pretty sure we may have spoken before.
I have no idea who you are.
Not directly. Have you
I
not
don't-
responded to random messages in your head?
No?
Oh, well, that sucks.
Sorry,
I
bud.
wonder who that was.
But let's start there. Let's do the whole kneeling thing. And
Are
the
you
whole
randomly
the whole
messaging other godlings again, Korax, and not knowing who they are?
Well, someone responded to me the other day.
I like this. I like where this is going. So he stays there. You're great. The rest of you. Let's
Can I pass? I'm a bit on the older side. Getting down kind of is a bit tough for me.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. And he like moves his hand, and a chair starts to slide out and spins out and pivots behind you. You could just sit.
I prefer to stand.
All right. Well, I guess you can pray and stand. I don't really know how it works, but see, I don't think there's any reason why you can't. But if everyone else, you look pretty spry and surly. Let's do the whole kneeling thing. I like that. I like what he's doing. And he just
Well,
sort of
Is
like
it-
stands
he just
there.
casually crosses his arms, and there's that same like childish like grin across his face.
Korax looks to Mina. We could test if he's a god in all of this.
Don't-
We-
Aren't we
what's
just
that?
trying to get his help, whether he's a god or not? We're just after his help.
I mean, I could pray to him and see if Antares can punch you.
I'm willing to do that.
Don't
Me
hurt
too.
yourselves.
Just saying that even if I were a god, which I'm not
But
saying
Terry,
that
you
I
are
am,
always too willing to
I'm
punch
saying that I'm
people.
a sorcerer. If I were a god, and you prayed to me to do whatever this whole punchy thing is, I'd still have to answer the prayer.
Would? But it would prove that you are worthy of prayer. If you're not worthy of prayer, then why would I pray to you?
I mean, I could still choose not to answer the prayer, and he could still get punched.
Yeah, but it doesn't prove that you are worthy of prayer.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, it does. If you don't answer the prayer, then you're not worthy, and therefore no further prayers will be shared upon you.
Or you just had like a shitty prayer.
Or you're just shitty at your job.
And Teres
Well,
will turn and walk to the
Not a
altar.
god. So
And she will kneel down and draw her sword. And yeah, she doesn't know how to pray either. Yeah, she will draw her sword and just rest it across her knee and close her eyes and go quiet for a moment, and she will mutter under her breath, like, what will she say? She'll say, Vishaden, we seek your guidance in protecting this city should evil come to do it harm. And then
it's
she
2 out of
will
4.
And then she will close her eyes again, bow her head, and probably stay there for a good 30 seconds.
That's 2.
Korek stands next to him and leans in and goes, Did you hear them in your head?
No, I heard them out loud. They said it out loud.
Well, then they didn't pray.
I didn't say. I just said get on your knees and ask. I just like the whole ceremony of it.
That's not how prayer works.
I don't care.
Just
You guys are asking for help. I just want you to do it on your knees.
I haven't asked for your help.
And then she'll stand back up.
I haven't either.
I just asked, what are you going to do?
I said nothing.
And she will walk back up to him.
Thanks. I like that. I like that. You still look real mean, but thank you.
I'm going
Still
to do my best to make sure she doesn't kill you.
really creepy with the eyes and the. It's like you. It's like you're stabbing me with your eyes.
Her hand is now resting on her sword.
Oh, don't do that. That's dumb. That would be dumb.
Korax looks to her and says, Look, if he's dead, he's not a problem, right?
I highly advise against that.
What do you want from the queen? What can she do for you to persuade you? If war comes to this city, it will need your help to defend it. If the dragon Nelumriel comes and King Jaseth comes, is Jaseth the guy that was ousted by? Okay, and King Jaseth returns. Will you help defend your home?
See, here's the thing. You say home. That's this right here. I would 100% guarantee to defend this temple.
What about all the people who are living out there?
They're not inside my temple.
So if they all walked inside your temple, you'd protect them.
I mean, it'd be super duper rude
And
if
can
they
you
just walked inside my
guarantee-
house.
Can you guarantee that you can defend all this from those that are coming here?
How many people? There's 40,000 plus. We don't know what the other army is sized. Then it's led by Lenumriel. So it's yeah, he's probably deader than a doornail if they come here.
I mean, we
So-
could give Nelumriel the opportunity to come straight here and not
So
have to touch any of
why
those
did you
personal cities.
intervene
She glares
in the
at
troll
Korax.
wars then?
I was bored.
That
Well,
doesn't
just
seem like the best motivation.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I was bored.
just think of how much fun it'll be to take out reconciliators and
Here's the thing, though. Like, it could be fun, right? Right? You look like you stab a lot of people. It could be fun, right? But if I commit to it, then it's like work. Then I have to do it, and that takes away a lot of the fun. If it happens and I get to do it, that could be fun. Also, I could take a nap and not do it. But that's up to me. If I say, no problem, Snake Lady, I'll help your city, then I have to do it. Or I look like a jerk. And that's not cool. You know what I mean?
He's got a point.
I like you. You want to hang out? You can hang out. You
no,
can come.
because
You can come.
he's got to go fight. He's gonna go fight.
Okay. When your dad's not looking, you can come hang out here anytime.
I'm not his dad.
You look like you're old enough to be his dad.
That's what they all say. I'm old enough to be your dad.
All right.
is
Look.
there anything that I can roll to get some kind of beat on this fucking kid?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Like, obviously he's a little shit, right? He's like a
Yeah.
frat boy,
I
right?
love him. I love him so much.
It's like,
I know, right?
I mean, I could introduce him to my sister.
They'll date. They'll date.
No.
He'll be your new brother-in-law.
It'll work.
I want to
Hey,
know.
get the sister out of your hair.
Is there, and based on what I know of Vishaden from the Lumriel,
Yeah.
can I roll something to see if we can figure out some way to change his mind or make him take it seriously?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, sure. Let's fuck around and find out. Roll me intelligence. Intelligence. Fuck, dude. Okay. You're not gonna like this answer. I will let two of you help. That's all I got so far. You can roll me an intelligence. Difficulty 9.
So there's no way that I can beat this.
I will let two of you help.
Fine help, Mike.
You
Give
define
my
help.
2 effort to this.
So, Korax has 2 skills that he is trained in that could potentially help in
Okay.
this endeavor.
I have
He
nothing.
has discerning true motives and seeing through lies,
Okay.
and knowledge of godly beings.
Okay.
which is 1.
So what you're saying is you should be making this roll, not me. Because I don't have anything other than knowledge of reconciliators.
So if two people tell me how they can help, that'll be 2 assets towards this, which will bump it down to a 7. And then with effort applied, it would be a 6, which would make it in the realm of possible. Very difficult, but possible.
I could probably use eye for detail to like when say they bring it up. It's like if he twitches or not, or if like say she hits a button on him that works, I can
Okay.
call it out.
Okay. So you're gonna look for like minute changes in this guy to find out, if we're getting closer or further. Okay, I'll give you that. That's the 1 asset.
Okay. And then Corax's knowledge. Does that count?
If you describe to me how that counts, Corax, you can, Chris, you can tell me how you convey that knowledge.
It's going to depend on how Antares is asking this or looking for this. He would probably... Does Antares know that he can see through lies? If she does, and she looks at him as he's answering, he would nod or shake his head at the answers that he gives.
Okay, I like that. I'll take that.
But you're 100% right, G. Korak should roll this because I have 2 efforts in intellect.
Well, I'll spend the intellect. It doesn't really matter to me.
Maximum effort.
I mean, if you want to convey this to Corax of what you're trying to do, you can do that. I'll allow that.
Yeah, so I guess while him and Mina are fucking almost high-fiving each other, she
I'm setting him up with Raya.
she turns, as
Hey,
he's
it's not a
pimping
bad
out
idea.
his sister, she's gonna turn and like step shoulder to shoulder with Korax and go, "We're getting fucking nowhere. We need to figure out what he wants to make him take this seriously, because he is not. And I can't kill him. I'm gonna kill somebody."
Korax leans close towards you and says, "Then ask the question as clearly as you can, or stab him in the face." And Korax is going to wait as she asks the question. Is when he's going to watch for those true motives.
No,
and lies.
I'm conveying it to you, so you are answering the
Still
question.
ask the question.
Yeah.
And then he leans in and goes, "What do you want to know? What is your
Are you
question?"
asking me? Oh, okay. Oh,
What his words are? What is your clear question? Is it what do you want?
yeah. I think that's the best. That's the easiest and less wordy way.
So as he does this big high five with Mina as their bro hug or whatever they're doing,
Chest
Korax
bump.
Korax just turns to him and says, "What do you want out of this? Clear and an answer. We're wasting time."
Why is there like a war right now?
It is on its way. The armies are marching. The reconciliators are already in the city. It is here.
This is annoying.
And the queen doesn't have to stop the dragon from marching at your temple as her first port of call. We don't want that. It's a beautiful place. I don't want to see another temple destroyed. What do you want to assist?
And Antares is standing, and she's not looking angry now. She's looking serious, but she's not looking pissed off.
Corax, roll me a intellect challenge difficulty 9. I will give you the help point from Seydlitz, and if someone else can come up with how to help, let me know.
Mike,
Yes.
I'm going to try something new. I have picked up Devoted Defender. Choose one character you can see. That character becomes your ward. You are trained in all tasks involving finding, healing, interacting with, and protecting your ward. And I'm going to put that on for Shade.
Do me a favor. Pop that into the chat. Just click on the little speech bubble, I think, so it pops up into Roll20. Choose one character you can see. Character becomes your ward. You are trained at all times. Okay. Huh.
Oh, Mina.
I don't see any reason why that can't happen. I just want that to have ramifications.
It hurts.
He's gotta
It
give
costs
him
me
the
2
sister.
intellect points. I don't have a lot of intellect to spare.
You know what? You know what I do have? Okay, cool. Cool. I got you. I got you, fam. What does this look like, Mina?
She's hot.
No, not his sister.
And he's like, sold. Sold, brother.
I mean, yeah,
Bruh.
your only competition is an old man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think, yeah, during those bro moments, Mina just kind of, if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, it's that shoulder touch,
Okay.
and he goes, "I got you, bro."
Okay. Interesting. Okay, I got something. I got something for your asses. Okay, so that is an asset from Mina, an asset from Seydlitz. You have your 2 skills, which I believe will both
skills.
apply here, and you want to spend 2 effort.
And I'm going to spend 2 efforts.
Okay,
So
roll.
As I roll one of them, it'll add one of the assets. I'll add 3 plus, and it was difficulty 9. Immortal. Holy
Yeah, difficulty 9.
effort to roll is going to be 2, and maximum is giving me 2 assets.
Yeah, so it will give you maximum 2 assets. I'll do the math on my head. So you have 3 assets.
Do you want me to drop the difficulty down to 8? Because that'll
Um,
it's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. So intellect difficulty 8. Effort to roll 2. 2 assets. Success.
So, by 1. 16 beats a 15. You beat by 1 point. Okay,
Wow.
cool. Cool. So, you asked this question, and there's like a bro moment between Mina and Vishaden, that's happening as you like interrupt and ask this question. Mina, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit you with the corruption bar, buddy. I like you. I like what you're doing. I like what you're situating, setting up in here. Mina, describe to me what your nimbus looks like.
It looks like a golden needle with a hemispherical thread that runs around it.
Cool. Now it looks red. You have your hand on him and you make him you become his devoted defender. And you become his devoted defender. As you all watch as his nimbus changes color. It slowly starts from the point of the needle and then spins around the thread as it becomes red. And he looks over to you, Korax, and he says, "Fine, man. Okay, cool. All right, I guess we're gonna play this game. Vishaden is the god of Samora. That's what I want. You guarantee that."
I can guarantee that I will ask for that.
Well, that's my
That's
price.
That's all we can do. And she's eyeing Mina and glancing at Korax, and then her eyes go back to Mina.
Mina has
Korax
not
is-
noticed any change.
Yeah.
Korax's eyes flick to Mina's nimbus, but back to Vishaden. He says, "Unfortunately, gods can only ask their followers. They can't force them. You see, you can claim yourself as the god of Samora. That's not a problem.
The queen
We
could
can put it
announce
forward.
that,
The queen could
but
announce it.
it won't meet the people. It won't make the people follow if they do not believe it.
Oh,
He's
I don't
got my
care.
vote.
I don't care. I just want
You
the
could be
queen.
declared as it.
I want the queen to declare me as the god of Samora.
Sounds easy enough.
Okay. However,
Korax.
Officially.
we will ask for that. And that will be based on the fact that you defend the city successfully against both armies. And at the end of the wars,
Help defend. You're not going to be the only one.
no, you don't.
No,
I mean,
I'm
this-
going to help him.
Mina's going to be with them.
That's my new
See-
guy.
At the end of defending of the city against these 2 wars, as long as it stands and the people are mostly, unharmed. We can't guarantee everything, right?
Yeah, it's a
You're not
war,
that
man. I'm
good of
one
a
guy.
god.
One sorcerer.
You're not that great a god.
I got you back.
But
A sorcerer. It's okay. He'll get it. He'll get it. He'll come to it.
She elbows Korax.
we cannot guarantee it. But if the city still stands and it is defended, there is something to
People
be a god of,
recognize
right?
you as the defender. They
The
probably
queen
will
will
accept
announce that you are the defender and god of Samora.
He talks
Why?
like a lawyer a lot.
You keep the defender part. I don't really care. I want to be the official god of Samora.
Done. We
god and
will bring
defender.
it to. We will take it to Etienne, and we will return with her answer. And she puts her hand on Korax, if he lets her, and starts pushing him towards the door.
He
Could I
fights
add? You know what?
against
I'm
moving.
gonna add one more thing. Just because like I feel like I have a lot of the chips here. I would like her to come tell me that she approves of my offer. She keeps sending minions.
I'm not a minion.
Well, you're on here on her behalf. She's never
I'm
come
on her own
herself.
behalf.
Seems like you're asking for her favor.
We'll see
Asking
what
for
we
my
can
favor.
do.
Okay. Well, you know
Just
where to
don't
find me.
forget,
Temple of Shaden.
it's a temple now.
It's true too. You prayed. Disappointed in the
Yeah.
rest of you, but
They didn't pray. They just asked.
this guy,
but
scary eyes, you're okay.
I mean, a fist bumped him.
Nice. It's my guy.
just remember, there are caveats to the deal.
Yeah, I'll help. If she comes down here and says, you're my guy, then that's it. I'm the guy. He's my guy. I'll be her guy for the time being.
And at the end of it all, I might even pray at your temple.
All right, man. That's cool.
She turns and she walks in.
She get her
As he's
checked out.
walking back, he's like, "Do you have a nimbus?"
Do you?
No, I'm not that cool. And he displays it to guards only, in the guard only mode. So I'm
He
not
looks
that
right
cool.
at it.
Turns his off.
He looks right at it. Says.
But he's walking back. Gorax is walking backwards towards it all. So come
Yeah.
on then. Be cool.
He looks over your shoulder and waits for Antarius to leave. And then he goes, okay. Shh. And he turns it on, and there are 5 nimbuses above his head. All of them are bright red. They're so red it diminishes Mina's brightness a little bit because of the same color. And he goes, don't tell Angry Eyes.
Gorax just points to him and goes, "You just got more cool."
You can pray anytime.
Walks up. At the end of the war, I'll be here.
Nice. And he goes, hey man, like I said, if your dad lets you come over here, you can come over anytime. I got like a lot of, I got some stuff.
Yeah,
Some stuff.
I can show you some of the clothes I'm sewing.
Yeah.
Vince is
yeah.
still in the room. He just reaffirms, I'm not his dad.
Okay.
No, I'm literally not.
He's,
I have
he's
never
not.
married.
Okay, man.
I
She,
think so anyway.
Calm down.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
It's fine. Okay.
Secret backstory. Turns out Seydlitz is me and his dad.
It's all time.
Seydlitz Han.
it's the secret that he doesn't know.
It's a secret that no one knows. Say this is everyone's
Yeah.
dad. Jesus.
Once
As there's
outside, after she slams the door and she's gone, and they're all like broing each other up here in some homoerotic display
Seydlitz is
of
leaving and going home.
testosterone. What? No, she's gone. You are in the damn church, and you were fucking broing it up with these people.
this is
What is outside? She's like, she wants to pick up something and fucking throw it. She is livid right now.
Top Gods. Top Gods, Goose, Maverick, and Iceman. Oh man. Yeah, there's like
And she is
rubble.
heading
There's
back.
like rubble, detritus. There's all kinds of like shit around you.
She
you can
like
throw.
picks up a rock. She like fucking chucks it at a wall, at a window across the way. She is fucking pissed, and she's walking back to the temple.
Yeah, you do.
The
You
rock
throw
gets
it,
thrown,
hits like
smashes through a window
yeah,
and hits a reconciliator.
just a random one. Yeah, you throw a rock, it smashes through one of the stained glass windows, one of like the
Not
shattered.
his. Not
No,
his
no, yeah, one
temple.
of the other ones.
Yeah.
It sort of shatters through. You hear like a hey from inside, and you storm back to the adherence temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wherever Dresden is.
Yeah, the
and this
adherence
woman
temple.
with the weird name.
As far as you know, that's what they are. You storm back there before anyone else. You're like across the street and like down an alley before anyone else leaves the temple. So I will assume Korax, Mina, Seydlitz, you're headed home. Korax and Mina, you're assumedly headed back to the adherence temple as well. But we'll follow Antares as she's the first one. You get there. You are alone, groupless. What are you doing? You are in the main temple area.
She's gonna go back to that room, I guess, where she last saw Dreshen.
Okay. So you open the second door, the one opposite the barracks, and you walk into this room. And it is similar to the first one you entered, where it's like a long table with a bunch of people around it. And as you open the door and close it behind you, the door on the opposite side opens, and Dreshen walks in, and he says, "Hey, you're back already?"
Oh yes. It just went swimmingly well, and obviously she looks very, very agitated, more than he's seen her.
Great.
Well, we found out what he wants.
What does he want?
I don't know. Should I be talking to her, or can I relay it to you? Was that what she said?
Who?
Etienne, the queen.
Oh,
was Terry supposed to tell them to tell her, or?
Are you asking me, or are you grumpily asking?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
The queen told you to tell her, and then
go find her.
What's her name? Sula Baez said, "I would also like to know."
Okay. Well, sorry. Etienne wants me to tell her, and that lady with the hat
Sula
wants to know as well. Sula
Baez.
Sula Baez wants to know.
So what happened?
Well, he's one arrogant son of a bitch. That's what it is.
Okay. But what does he want, though?
He wants to be the god. He wants to be declared in person by Etienne. He wants to be declared the god of Samora. Upon successful defending of the city and minimal casualties to the best of his ability, that is what he wants. The only thing that he wants. And he wants Etienne to come down there in person to tell him herself.
Okay.
Otherwise, he will defend his home, which is the Temple of Vishaden, from attack. But he will not, most likely, unless he's really bored, he will not lift a finger to help.
Dreshen puts a hand on the back of the head chair, and sort of scooches it out and like motions for you to sit down as he sits in the chair. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Sorry, let me. Are you okay? You seem very you seem very
Dreshen.
You're doing the scary Antares thing again, but like a lot of.
If you were in that room with me the past 10 minutes, however long that we were in there,
Yeah.
you would want to kill someone too, okay?
Okay, well, I didn't think that's a little extreme. Why do you want to kill someone?
You've never been there.
Okay, did he do something?
It was I don't know, okay?
Okay.
It was just
okay, you're going through some things. I get it. Take this however you want to take it. You can't, well, you can't, I guess you can because you're doing it right now. You shouldn't just want to kill everyone because you don't like them.
Oh,
You can not like people and also not kill them.
I'm well aware of that. Okay.
Are you?
I would have killed Mina a long time ago.
Okay, definitely
Okay.
don't kill me. He's the nicest one of you.
Oof. Are you?
I just don't see what happens is
I
sometimes
had no.
you
I had
get
no.
mad
I had no.
and
I
then
had no problem with
stab
him. It just got worse and worse and worse. I didn't want to kill him at first. I have a little beef to pick with him, but that's technically not his fault.
okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I'm seeing. You're very scary when you're angry, and you get very angry very quickly.
And usually that gets me what I want.
Yeah.
And this time, that little asshole,
Okay.
and then Mina and Korax are all Mina selling his sister to this guy to try and get him to
I don't think
agree to
I don't
this.
think you're allowed to do that here.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Okay, listen, what I'm trying to say is that before, when being mean and scary got you what you wanted, you were doing bad stuff. Right? So being mean and scary now might not get you what you want. And if it does, that might be bad. If you're trying to be a different person.
Are you telling me to calm down?
No. I'm just
Good.
saying that
Because I am.
okay.
I am calm.
I'm just saying that stabbing people first and asking questions later doesn't work on this side in the daylight. Okay.
I don't know what to do, Dresden, okay? I don't know what to do.
Okay. That's okay. You don't have to know what to do.
I brought you his terms. I brought you his terms. Those are his terms.
I'll pass that on. That's all you had to do. The rest of this is a whole thing. Okay, don't stab me for sure. You don't have to be so.
I'm not gonna stab you, Dresden. I like you, okay?
Oh,
I'm sorry, okay?
it's fine. I'm
I
just
would never
letting you know.
stab you.
I'm just letting you know other people might perceive you as terrifying. And if you don't want to be terrifying anymore,
It has its advantages.
if you don't want to be terrifying anymore, you have to actively not be terrifying.
So, like, what?
I don't know. I've never been terrifying. But if you were terrifying for most of your life, it's second nature to be terrifying. So if you don't want to be terrifying, you have to actively not do it. Sometimes you look like this. That's scary. You should, I don't know, start with that. Or deep breaths helps, I think. Or not grabbing your sword every time someone says something you don't like. Also, probably not threatening people. Or
I didn't
angrily mumbling threats.
I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't threaten him. didn't threaten him. Oh, fuck you.
Fucking chat.
I didn't threaten him. I didn't. I was
Okay,
calm. But it's the eye thing.
I know. I trust. That's why I led with that one.
What? Should I stab my own eyes out?
Well, don't do that. That's still the stabbing thing.
Yeah, right. See, that's my first go-to. She's not laughing.
Fucking this episode.
Oh,
Maybe,
fuck me.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been a bad guy and then became a good guy.
Don't recommend it.
Okay, well, I'll keep not doing that. I'm just saying it's gonna take work, and we're here. We're all here to help you. Even Korax. I'm sure.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Correct never told her to smile more. Just saying.
No one else has either, just for the record. No.
Yes.
Oh, how did I walk into that?
This is serious. She's not laughing. Okay. Yeah, when she says Corix will help you, she literally goes,
Everyone's on the same side.
are they?
You don't want to be who you were, and they don't want you to be that either. And so everyone is helping everyone.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, I was taught a certain thing about the enemy, and she kind of gestures at like everything. And no one is living up to that expectation I had.
Yeah, I don't want to just I don't want to point out the obvious here.
All these good people, they're just they're okay.
Well, you okay? Now I'm a little confused. Your mother said,
Actually,
okay.
no,
ahead.
continue. I want to know what you have to say
Sorry.
about my mother.
She's the one who taught you that everyone, and he gestures around, was evil and bad. So not everything she told you, or probably anything she told you, was the truth.
Oh, I'm realizing that. But you want to know what the secret is?
Yes.
I never thought I was the good guy. And her gaze drops. I never once thought I was a good guy doing what I was doing. And she kind of like sits back a little bit. And she drops her gaze from his and doesn't look at him.
He scooches the chair back. You can hear that like wood grinding on stone. And while you're like looking down, he walks over towards you. And you can see like his shadow and body movement. Like there's like a hesitant like arm slowly coming out towards you. And he like puts like a very gentle, warm hand on your shoulder. And he sort of like kneels down. So like he's like it's kind of squatting. So your gaze is a little bit above his, and he says, all that matters now is what you do going forward. But if I could give you an old man's word of advice, what you just said should stay right here. If you thought you were doing the right thing, and that was the reason you did what you had been doing, that's one thing. If you thought you were the bad guy and you continued to do bad, that's something different. That could change how people perceive you, not how you want to change.
She just gives a little nod.
You can draw a line in the sand right now. And the moment you cross that line, you're a different person than who you were. And you have to actively choose to do good.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm helping those guys and you and Stephanie and Arua. It seemed like the right thing to do.
I understand. You can't do the right thing just because it seems like the right thing. You have to do the right thing because it's what you want to do.
It is what I want.
Okay. Well, and he like kind of gives us like a squeeze to your shoulder and he stands up. Well, and he leans back a little bit, like with one hand on the table, and kicks his toe point up and sort of with his heel drags a line in like the dust on the floor. Different person.
She nods.
I think you have a lot of potential. I think you just have to see it in yourself. I think you see yourself as a bad person doing good things. And you need to see yourself as a good person.
She looks thoughtful. Yeah. You might be right.
Comes with being old.
You're not that old.
I'm 58.
I've seen older.
I will relay your message to Sula. You should
And she-
explore the city.
She winces at that. And if he's getting up to leave, she
Mhm.
will actually reach out a hand and grab him by the arm to stop him.
He'll stop.
And she's not looking at him at first. She's like, she's got her arm up, she's holding onto his arm, and I'm sorry.
He
And then
like
she'll slowly look up at him and like look him in the face.
he turns and does that like half arm chair hug thing and just sort of like pats you on the back. He says you should explore the city. See what it's like to walk in the light.
She's very stiff under his arm. but she nods. Yeah.
The war isn't here yet. Take some time. Be with your friends. the boys, and Seydlitz. You wouldn't be here if they weren't friends with you.
All right.
He gives you another like awkward pat, and then he turns and heads towards the opposite door. And
And she'll be
that,
like,
okay,
no, she
Yeah.
just puts her head in her hands, is like, oh.
and that is where we end this episode of The Rise. All rise for the Queen. Cool beans. This was a fucking interesting episode. Everyone, if you liked this episode and all the other shit we do here, the best way to support us is down on the Patreon down below. Click on that link, join us in the Patreon, get all kinds of behind-the-scenes exclusives, including the after show, which we're about to shoot right after this, get some behind-the-scenes looks at these characters, their thoughts on this episode, and the world at large. And while you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, that's it from us, so we will see you guys next month for more of this business. From all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Hi.